Hi there, everybody. I'm Jennifer Angel, and this is my report for you, Aries, for 2018. So happy new year. So let's see what's coming up for you. I have done like a 2-minute snapshot report for you as well. Anybody that wants to, go and have a listen to that. And this one's going to be more extensive. So first of all, there's a lot happening this year. There's a lot of outer, slower moving planets that are transitioning to the next sign, and so that always brings like a vibrational change. So what we're talking about today is the overview for your solar chart, and of course, then we layer on top of that your natal chart. So if you haven't had your chart done, it's good to know where your planets are and what degree your planets are on. There's numerous services on the internet that you can do a free horoscope wheel. Okay, so I would suggest that you go in and do that, and of course then, if you want to have that sort of analyze more, then you can book a astrologer like myself to get the charts done. All right. Okay, so the overview for Aries is, if I can put it into one sentence, I would say this year is very much about learning the lesson of trusting your instincts and therefore trusting yourself. Sounds easy, doesn't it? It's a lot easier said than done. But, life, these things aren't learnt sort of overnight. We take a lifetime, and in fact many lifetimes to grow, evolve, and to learn. So we're going to go through the planetary movement, we're going to go through the individual areas of life, and we're also going to have a quick sort of look at what's happening per month to see if anything really stands out in that side of it. So let's start with love, okay? Everybody loves love. We all love to be in love. So, you can really advance your love life this year by building intimacy. So allowing yourself to be more intimate, not just with other people, but with yourself as well. And you have Jupiter sitting in your solar 8th house for most of the year, right through until November. So this is an area of intimacy. So you want to be prepared to say how you feel. Don't hold back, okay? So, that's sort of like the nice thing about this year. And Jupiter really sort of brings things out in the open because it's, it doesn't like to be secretive. It's like out front. So it's almost like if you can make your private business a little bit more public, not absolutely public in that sense, but known to reveal how you really feel to those that are close to you, and particularly that one love person. And if you don't have that one true love in your life right now, then there's a good chance that it can happen this year. And also in November, when Jupiter moves into the next sign, that's going to be in your area of soul purpose. So guess what? If it doesn't actually happen for you this year, it's a year of preparation. But, I'm not saying it is or it isn't. I'm just saying how it is. And also, as I said, your natal chart, your birth chart sort of overrides everything. So this year you want to sort of just get in touch with yourself more. How you really feel, if you had the perfect relationship, what would that look like? And it doesn't always end up to be as it looks like, but it's a very good starting point, because, you know, what you put out there into the universe, that's the sort of starting point for that to come back, and for you to, you know, attract that back to yourself, okay? So I would be making a great deal of effort to, you know, focus on that. If you haven't subscribed to my newsletter, go ahead and do that. I do have one of the free handouts on that, Love for Life. And, you know, once you subscribe, you automatically get that handout. Now, if you subscribed on my old system and didn't get that, then just send me an email and I'll send it to you. Okay, so it's a Love for Life exercise. It's really a very great exercise to get your mind around love and to start opening up to more love in your life. And who doesn't want that, hey? All right, let's move on to career. So, you know, your career is really, really hot this year, not just for this year, but for the next 3 years. So we've got Saturn has just moved into your solar 10th house, your area of career, just moved in on 22nd of December, I think was the exact date. So it's going to be there for 3 years. So, you know, anything to do with Saturn is really about stability, setting in strong foundations to move forward with the future. So you will have to put the hard work in. Saturn is generally about, you know, putting in the hours, putting in the work, and that doesn't scare you, Aries, but you will get the return from it, okay? So Pluto is also in this area. It's a slow-moving planet, been there for a while. It's been there since November 2008 and going to be there right through to 2024. But Pluto is a planet of transformation. So you can really make, with the Pluto and now Saturn energy in your career, you can really make a huge difference of what you do from this point. So first step is to sort out what it is that you want to do, okay? And then, I mean, you know, once you have a plan, the rest is easy, relatively, you know, because if you don't have a plan, then, you know, it's like a ship without a rudder. You're just being moved around by other people and vibration. And so the best thing is to get a plan together. It doesn't mean to say you have to keep that plan exactly as it is. I mean, absolutely not. You know, we're like, each time, like every day, week, month, year, we're growing, we're learning, we're changing, and so do our goals. So the main thing is to start with a plan and to take one step. The first step is the most important step, because if you don't take that first step, nothing happens, okay? So I feel really good about Saturn being, you know, this 3-year transit for you. It really gives you an operatunity to get things down and to start moving forward. There can be during this time some conflict with authoritative people, so you're going to have to try to get around that, go over it, and work with it. There's no sense butting heads with Saturn. And, you know, you're a motivated sign, Aries, so you know what? You can do that. That's not going to be an issue for you. All right, now let's have a look at what's happening in your monetary area, okay? So you want to take charge of your financial situation this year, more so than before, because Aquarius in Uranus rules Aquarius, so I get that mixed up sometimes. In your sign has been there for, for some time. Let's have a look, for, 9 years. Is going to finally move out and move to the next sign, which is Taurus. Now, it will come back later next year in its retrograde transit. That's sort of a given, isn't it, with all the retrogrades? But basically, it's moving into Taurus. So, so anything to do with Uranus is quite like groundbreaking. It's like revolutionary. It's like changes that maybe are ahead of their time. And anything to do with Taurus. Taurus is ruled by Venus, so it governs love and money. So it being in your second house of money, then what we can see over this next decade is a change in the financial structure, even a change in currency, and a change in how you work with and how you deal with money. So this is a great time, particularly kicking off this year as it's moving in May, to be proactive about learning about money management, new forms of financial structure and investing, and to make sure that it works harder for you. Now, we've already, and people have been saying for many years in the international financial market that things are changing, and we're already sort of seeing that with the bitcoins and the, I guess you call it sort of electronic paper money. And that's coming out more and more. So that seems to me for you, Aries, to be a good place for you to put some energy to study of what's coming up, okay? Now, we've also with talking about the money, so with Jupiter in your solar 8th house, this is not only about intimacy, it's also about other people's money. Now, Jupiter is a very expansive energy, and when I say other people's money, it's like investments or dividends, the return on your investments. It can be winnings as well, or inheritances. Basically not money that you go and put 5 hours of work in for and get paid for 5 hours, and with the Jupiter being very expansive energy and worldwide and visionary energy, then really you can be in a good place for partnerships. I mean, it can be like bank loans or just like partnerships where perhaps you're doing the work, somebody else is funding. That type of area, it all comes under that 8th house vibration. So this year, and certainly this next year and going on forward from there, looks very, very good for you financially. But once again, you're going to have to take responsibility for it. It's a great deal of taking responsibility in everyone's chart for 2018, and especially yours because you've got Saturn in your career zone, okay? And that sort of kicks off with, career. I mean, money doesn't always come from career, but, work or business, but often and quite often it does. So, and as I said, you're not scared of putting in the hard yards, that's for sure. So I think this is like a great start, and certainly when this year, as these changes are happening, and when you get at that sort of critical degree when a planet is leaving a sign and ingressing into the next sign, it's more intense. So I always feel that's where you can really make a big change and start to kick forward. It's like a kick start. Okay, so let's talk about your spirit. And, in 2018, you can really get in touch with who you are, stand in your own circle of power, and that's what you show the world, okay? And Chiron is making a move too. That's a slower outer planet. It's going to make a move from the sign before yours, Pisces, where you would have been more concerned about a spiritual learning and development. And of course that's always, we're spiritual beings in our physical bodies, I believe anyway, so that's always on the cards. But now it's going to be moving into your sign, and Chiron is a healer, and so moving into your sign says to me, like, for everybody, for Chiron to be in Aries is more about healing your body, taking more conscious effort to do the right thing with your body. But for you, most particularly Aries, because you're a very you work better when you are fit, lean, and when you're moving. Movement is what, and cardio movement for you is what helps you keep balance, and release stress and tension. A lot of Aries are runners, so but or cardio sort of people, and with Chiron sort of in this position for you, then it does put more emphasis on just being more, as I said, more conscious about living a detox life, a clean life, whole foods, and just being more conscious of your surroundings and looking after your physical body. So there's some great things sort of coming up for you this year, that's for sure. All right, let's go through and have a look at the months. Let's just see what highlights sort of over each of the months. So right in January, it kicks off. There's a lot of activity in your career. So if you've got and people that you connect with in January are very, very important. And you could have people coming from the past re-entering your life with your career as well, but it's almost like it's a trigger points. Things can happen like quickly and meant to be. I do feel that there's a certain amount of destiny, for want of a better word, and almost like the people that you meet cross paths and chance meetings. Is there really anything to do with a chance meeting, or is it all sort of meant to be? I mean, that's the $1,000,000 question, isn't it? That feels very, very good for me. If you want to, if you're looking for work or looking for a change, then I would be putting right now, in December, if you're listening to this at the end of the year, and certainly in January, putting a lot of effort into getting that sort of off the ground and organizing. As we move into February, it's a great time to sort of perhaps reach out to other people and promote yourself in the sense of, sometimes if you can offer something to somebody else, then it opens the door for them to offer something back for you. So there's like very much like a give and take that happens sort of in February. A lot of social activity, so getting out, mixing and mingling with people, and like at a social event, you just never know what comes out of a social event. Lots of business is still done on a social sort of event. When we go into March, it's then more about a little bit more of soul searching for you, like where are you at, where do you want to be. Your intuition is sharp, your imagination is sharp. It's like you making plans, you're rearranging your plans, and you're really just coming into balance and getting ready to move forward. And during April is a big push. There can be some changes and some new starts in April. We've still got a lot of activity happening in your career zone. Your moon is going to be, conjunct with your moon at that time too, early April. Jupiter is going through your 8th house. So it's still, there's lots of love for intimacy, but love really comes in more, I feel, let's see, during that time and also in May, okay? So, and there's communication. So if you're looking for love, then I do think like May is a good time where it can come together for you. There's lots of like conversation and communication, and have that sort of easy sort of banter with someone is always very, very nice. And there's almost like when we get this like there is the possibility in May that you can meet somebody you just have that like deja vu type feeling about, someone from the past, or someone from the way past, perhaps not, past life it could be also. So, when you sort of get that past sort of feeling, it's not always from this life. And as we move into June, that vibration is still there as well. Creative adventures can sort of come through in June. It's a good time to sort of launch something that's creative, perhaps re-educate yourself as well. And July, more focus on your home and family in July. And also, as we go into August, there's focus on you looking after yourself. Okay, so it's always important for everyone, particularly for you Aries this year with the Chiron transit, is to look after your health and well-being. Don't let it slip down to the bottom of the list, because you work best. You work best when you are fit. You're more productive when you're fit. Aren't we all really? But particularly for you, it's part of the way that you de-stress. September is a great month for love, okay? It's not that other things aren't happening when I mention, what's happening in the months, but anything that sort of highlights out to me. So it's a great love for love. It's also a great month for passion. All right, so that's very, very nice. And October the same thing. And as we go into November, as Jupiter moves into the next sign, which will be in later November, I'm not sure of the exact a date, I think it's around the 20th by memory, and it will move into your 8th house as well. So there's a very nice balance of spirituality, balance between you being able, it's almost like the lessons that you learn through the year come together by the end of 2018, November and December, where you feel more settled in yourself, more balance. You've got more balance between the different areas of your life, love, spirituality, career, for instance, and the year sort of finishes off with almost like I'm seeing a celebration that's you're moving into 2019 with a celebration of some sort. So that's very, very nice. All right, so that's sort of like the overview of the months, and we've been through the planets. So much love to you. I do hope you have a fabulous year and something amazing happens for each and every one of you. Thank you so much for following my work and supporting my work through the years. And I look forward to being with you on a weekly basis with my videos for this coming year, 2018. Okay, let's get ready. Bye for now.